Hey guys, it's Jed Scoper here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys the top 5 left-handed pitchers in the game. And this is my opinion, so it's not just on the overalls. This is literally just my opinion. If you have a different opinion, please comment in the section below what your opinion is, and we will disagree and agree and so forth and whatnot. So, I don't know, don't take it too seriously, I guess. My first guy is going to be David Price. The reason this is, guys, I've been going back with him and another pitcher, and I'm going to name him at the end. He's number 5 for me. His stamina is amazing at 99, so he can literally go the entire game if you want him to. He won't really be a huge problem at all with the stamina. My biggest thing for him is really how many hits is he going to give up? You know, how many times is he going to give up hits? I'm looking at his pitches, and I'm looking at them and I see a 2-seam and a 4-seam. Not really anything impressive. The cutter can probably work out pretty well for him, especially since he'll be using that cutter against righties probably most of the time, and I think that could really get some weak ground balls and broken bats. So I think that could, be a solid possibility. The one thing I like about him is his control is 91, which means where you want to throw the ball is probably where it's going to be. So, one of the biggest problems when you start getting against the highest, the highest rated players and just the highest overall guys is they don't have too many cold zones. So when you hit, when you see a cold zone, you really want to hit it. And with him, that's going to happen. You're going to hit the cold zone a ton. So the only problem with him is his velocity really isn't that great, so you're not going to be able to blow the fastball by him. So his changeup might not be as effective, but it could still be decently effective. You're going to have to really manage the way you pitch with him. You're going to really need to be a really good pitcher if you're going to try and pitch with this guy, because if you're not an amazing pitcher, he doesn't have the stats to really help you out. His per nines aren't that great, but he has good control, and his velocity and break are decent enough. So anyways, he's going to be coming in at number 5. At number 4, I'm actually going to go down a couple overalls, and it's going to be to Jon Lester. Now obviously Jon Lester's overall isn't as good, but you really shouldn't just focus on the overall, guys. And the reason I say that is because it's just a number. It really, obviously I'd rather have a 99 over a 80, but when you're looking at a pitcher, you can see first of all that his pitches don't kind of go into his overall. That doesn't matter. So you really want to focus. Half of the battle is what pitches does he have. Are his pitches good? Do you like his pitches? With Jon Lester, I like the fact that he has a cutter, sinker, and a curveball. Well, I guess it's a sweeping curveball. It's a little bit weird with him because of the fact that sweeping curveball moves so much. It almost gives the person time to kind of, readjust. I like the fact that he has a changeup. I think that's a great pitch to have. And his per nines are good, and he's normally on like a 4 or 5 star day, so those will go up most of the time. And the fact that his team always does well, so really, you could even expect upgrades with this guy in the short run because of the fact that he's probably he's the second best pitcher on his team, and he'll end up getting a ton of wins probably, and he's just, he's doing very solid. So hopefully he can keep that up and, not, slow down really. So other than that, that's basically him. He's just a really solid pitcher. That cutter is probably his best pitch, and the sinker, you're going to be using those on the first 2 pitches probably every time. Cutter can easily generate a ton of ground balls against right-handed batters, and that sinker can do it against left-handed batters. So I like those pitches. And then you could use a sweeping curveball or a changeup or maybe even high fastball to get people off guard and strike them out. So that would be how I would pitch with him, but obviously you guys could be thinking different. So what we're going to do now is we are going to view This is hard. I've been thinking about this, and it's literally the one that's killing me. I'm going to go number 3 is Chris Sale. And guys, there's only 3 things bad with Chris Sale. And you're like, oh, only, what are you talking about? There's only 2 things. True, his hits per 9 aren't that great. True, his home run per 9 really isn't that great. And I don't know necessarily if he has the velocity to make up for his home runs per 9. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. My biggest thing, guys, is the fact that his pitches really just aren't that great. He has a 2-seamer and a 4-seamer. If you have 4 pitches, that's literally 2 fastballs, and that's just not even, good. It's just not something that's... The 2-seamer doesn't move enough for it to be, a pitch that you would, I don't know, another pitch. The changeup is good, the slider is good, but the problem is that you really run out of pitches to throw with him, I think. Especially if it's 2 strikes, you can't throw that slider really too much. I mean, you can throw it one time, and if it misses, what do you do? Throw a changeup? Maybe a high fastball, then a low changeup? I don't know I just don't see him. And the problem is that he does have high per 9, strikeout per 9. But his hits per 9 and his home runs per 9 are literally what's going to score the other team runs. And those are the 2 things he's low in. So I don't like it as much. And maybe if they give him a different pitch, like even a curveball, just to kind of throw batters off and just to keep them guessing. I love him, but it's just his pitches really just kind of piss me off. So it's, I don't know. If someone that's pitched with Chris Sale thinks any different, let me know. But just looking at him. Number 2 is going to be Madison Bumgarner. Again, his home run per 9s really aren't that great, and the rest of his stats are lower than Chris Sale's, basically. But the reason I like him is, again, his hits per 9 it's higher than Chris Sale's. And he has an extra pitch. That's the whole reason why I'm actually picking him over Chris Sale, because of the fact that he's a curveball. That gives him 2 different pitches to throw. And I honestly think that's just that's one of the nicest things, is because you can't be like, alright, well, he's going to throw a slider on 2 strikes every time. Because that's what you'll do with Chris Sale. But with Bumgarner, you're like, alright, well, I'm either going to get a curveball or a slider. And there are 2 different speeds, so it's like, well, I don't know which one to look for. You might get faked out. If you get faked out, then it's a strike 3. And I think his pitches are they're very solid. And I don't know. I don't see how... I just prefer his pitches, and granted his stats aren't as high, but I think his pitches make up for it. And on every count, he can throw more than 1 pitch. So on, a 0-0 count, you could throw either fastball or a slider, really. You could throw a slider. On an 0-1 pitch, you can throw that changeup, or a slider if you haven't thrown the slider yet, or you could still throw that curveball. And if you haven't, you probably throw the changeup on pitch 2. And if then you throw the slider or curveball on pitch 3. And that's, I don't know. That's just how I would pitch with him, and I think that could work out really well. That's the general idea of what you would be doing. And the number 1 pitcher, guys, I think is relatively obvious, is Kershaw. This man is obviously just ridiculous. He just is the best pitcher in the game. Well, I guess you could argue, Jake Arrieta. Either way, both those guys are amazing. The one problem with Kershaw is his velocity isn't too high, so you're not going to sneak too many fastballs by people. But he has so much off-speed, guys, that you're not going to really be throwing that fastball too often. You're probably going to be throwing that sinker on the first pitch to see if you can roll a ground ball. You could probably throw that changeup on the second pitch, and the slider or 12-6 on the third pitch, and that's probably going to be a 1-2-3 at bat, 90% of the time. People won't be able to get hits off of him. People won't be able to really, runs off of him. And it's just going to be impossible to score runs off of him. It's just plain and simple. There's no way to really do it. You got to get lucky and hope that the game's just like, oh, yeah, you haven't let up a run in, 30 innings, so you got it now. So, we'll give the other team 1 run and move on. So, if you're going to hit against this guy, the best way I would say to do it, guys, is seriously, just bunt. And it's the same thing with Jake Arrieta, I think. Is literally, guys, just bunt and have a ton of speedy guys and then just bunt the entire time. Because there's literally, you have a higher chance of getting on with a bunt and a 99 speed Ichiro or 98 speed Ichiro than hoping you get a hit. So honestly, that's just how it is, and that's how I feel about him. Let's see. We're going to go. Again, guys, this was only current players. I could easily have said CC Sabathia. I don't know how I feel about him, really. He's not... He obviously has great per nines, but... And his stamina is awesome, so... I mean, yeah, you could fit him in there, but I'm not going really over those guys. This flashback, Madison Bumgarner... You could have argued with me that he might be better than Kershaw. I would take Kershaw over this guy. His per nines are amazing, so I don't know what else to say about him. I'm just going to go straight to the notable mentions. The reason Cole Hamels isn't is I pitched with him. He has great movement on his pitches, but guys, I can tell you that his per nines really weren't that great. I could tell that people were kind of getting at least a hit off of him per inning. Wasn't really that enjoyable. And other than that, I mean, the home runs are still low. Everything's still low. Velocity wasn't able to... You couldn't blow a fastball by him, so it was kind of like... I don't know. It wasn't like... You really had to rely on that sweeping curveball and maybe that cutter to move and circle change. And you really had to rely on them just not hitting the ball. So, and just not bad. He's pretty decent, but just not great. Going a little bit down farther, Dallas Keiko. I think this is obvious. 58 per 9 with the velocity and the hits per 9. The home runs per 9 were just basically just horrendous. No velocity, no hits per 9. That just looks like straight disaster right there. You basically just have to throw a ton of sliders, cutters, changeups, and hope that people can't hit off speed. Other than that, I mean, he has good stamina, but you know, he's going to give up a ton of home runs and hits, so that's not good. His stamina would go away easily. Let's see here. We got quickly with Drew Pomeranz. His per nines are great, or decent, except the walks, obviously. He only has 3 pitches, and when I was pitching with him, he literally was just impossible to pitch with because he only has 3, and it was too easy to pick up when he was going to throw a curveball. Jose Quintana just doesn't have that oomph to him. He has no spark. You know, fastball was just dead the entire time, and just too easy to hit off of him. And his hits per nines are not great enough to do anything about it. There's Rich Hill. I haven't used him, but again, he has 2 fastballs and only 4 pitches. And his velocity, he just wouldn't throw that fastball. He'd throw that 12-6 curve and that slider basically 99% of the time and hope that people just don't hit it. That's literally all you would have to do, and just hope that people can't hit off speed. I wouldn't honestly want to rely on the fact that people can't hit off speed. That's just not good. Okay, that's fantastic game. What did I do? I actually didn't do anything. And then the last one I wanted to go over, and this guy was the one that I was thinking about replacing with David Price. And the reason that is because of the fact that his velocity is at 92. That allows his sinker and fastball to be like, you could blow it by people really easily. I've pitched against 99 overalls, and it was literally almost impossible. He messaged me after and was like, dude, that Steven Matz is just blowing my hitters away. And I was like, yeah, I mean, he's an 85 overall, but his fastball is very fast. I think I don't know what it's at. The sinker is, you throw a fastball high, you throw a sinker low, and you can throw a curveball or a changeup on the third pitch, and you're saying, oh, well, his break's only 65, and true, that's very true, but his curveball moves, and it's an off-speed pitch, so it works very well if you're throwing a fastball and a sinker, and you can get him off with the off-speed, and it actually works out very well. His per nines really aren't that great, so if you wait, he does most of the time I've seen him, he has a 4-star or a 5-star day, so his per nines can get up, relatively high, and then, if he had a 5-star day, I'm sure those would turn into like +6s, and then his hits per nine would be 75, and Ks per nine would be like an 82. I mean, that's a pretty solid. Home runs, I haven't really had a problem with home runs, so I don't know. I haven't really noticed that, but other than that, he's a great pitcher. So, that's basically it for left-handed pitchers. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, let me know. I'm not the best with left-handed pitchers. I only use two. I use Matz and Jon Lester, and I like how both of those guys, how both of them work. They're both amazing pitchers, and I would definitely highly recommend those two. I can't say anything for Price, Sale, or Bumgarner. I've used Kershaw, and he's just ridiculous. I can't say anything else about him. But again, he's worth a ton of money. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope you guys like these, and I'm probably going to do the next best relief pitchers. It's going to be a combination of relief pitchers and closing pitchers. Now, I don't really know how I'm going to do that because most of these guys are just a 99 hits and strikeouts per 9, and it's, I don't know, I'll figure it out. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and I guess I will just see you guys in the next video. So make sure you comment on the video on, who you guys think is the best five-handed, lefties, and, I don't know, hopefully we can come to some understanding about who the best 5 lefties are, and that'd be pretty cool. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you.